Everyone's so eager.
Does it have to be a serious picture of the animal showing their whole body?
Ideally, you'd be able to recognize it based
Right.
on the drawing.
I mean, not completely.
If you think you can recognize it based on your drawing, get as jiggy as you want.
Okay.
All right. I have a couple of announcements before we start. We finished the movie, and because period 1 was delayed yesterday, we actually will end up with some free time at the end of the period for miscellaneous topics of interest. So, first, are there any Unit 2 makeups? Random Unit 2 makeups? Second, I'll give you about 10 or 15 minutes, but please listen carefully. I will not repeat this information. You should go to EDU 2.0 and check your grade, but before you do that, I will not repeat this information. These assignments have been entered, so if there's an error, I'll tell you how to fix it. But please look up, these assignments have not been entered. So the email, signed syllabus, and Unit 2, those are not entered. Thus, they will show a question mark. That's what I anticipated. It should have a question mark because they're not entered yet. Yes?
Is it too late to send you the email?
No, it's not. And the reason that I'm still open for business is because those are, as students add the class, they can still do that assignment. All of my homework is time sensitive because it's about getting ready for class, but this doesn't get you ready for class, so you can do that late. Next, if there is something wrong with your grade, and I apologize in advance, but I'm sure there is, please look back here. The artist formerly known as Straggler's Box has been renamed. So if you have any problem with the grade, bring me the actual paper, so I need the evidence, and then attach a note that clearly explains the problem. Remember that my aides will read that, not me. So in your note, you might want to say, Jose told me blah, 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 or please ask Jose about blah, blah, blah. Then attach the evidence, put it in the grade correction box, and by the next time I fix grades, I'll make corrections to whatever you found wrong in this grade report. Since you're all using your phones already, you can also take this time to sign up for invasive species. The list seems to be circulating. Has everybody over here already used it?
I'm next.
So it's going that way. And I love how excited you are about signing up for your species. But in your ardent fervor to sign up, make sure you check that the species has not already been taken. Be careful with the scientific names. A lot of common names change. Yes?
I have a question I can ask you later.
Good. We're clear about the species sign up. We're clear about the grade. We're clear about the corrections. Question? Yes?
How can you get a B on warm-up?
Yeah.
You didn't do it.
Everybody has to see this. I'm sorry. Hannah asked me about something that I wanted to show all of you, and I forgot. You can see that the Unit 1 warm-ups are currently rounding. So the number possible was 12. So I made the denominator 1.2. And when I try to enter a 1.2, it'll automatically round it to a 1 out of 1.2, which is about 80%. So right now, many of you have an artificially lowered grade because for some reason that nobody can fix yet, EDU is automatically rounding your scores, but they're not rounding the denominator. Just so you know, I've already notified our tech specialist on campus, and they've called the EDU people who are somewhere in the clouds, and they're going to fix this for us. I don't know how long that'll take. So everybody's grade's a little bit inaccurate because it's rounding your warm-up grade. If you had anything less than 5 warm-ups, it rounds you down to 0. That's not a typo, that's just a stupid rounding issue. Yeah?
So for my warm-ups, it says I submitted it, but I forgot to submit it, and then it's just giving me a grade. Could I talk to you about that after class? So like, it says I submitted the warm-ups, but I never submitted the warm-ups. I didn't put it with the packet by accident. So can I?
Last name is Kramer?
Yeah.
Oh, it says you've submitted it and had 0 credit, right?
Yeah, but I never submitted it.
Cool. So you'll want to attach a note. So these are my Unit 1 warm-ups.
Okay.
Please correct my grade in Unit 1. Staple the note to the evidence and drop it in the grade correction box.
Okay, thank you.
Excellent. Yes?
How long is it to get the corrections? Because I did Unit 1 and Unit 2 together, and then my warm-ups, both Unit 1 and 2 are both saved to my Unit 2 type.
It kind of depends. I try to sneak on the EDU and make the correction usually within a week. You know, some of the kids put in corrections yesterday because they were on it. Some of the kids put corrections in this morning. Some of them will have to wait until tomorrow to bring the paper. And then after tomorrow, when am I going to be bored enough to have a little computer time? This week in particular, it might be kind of tight until Saturday. And if I have a busy Saturday, then it'll roll into next week, which is probably when I'm going to update Unit 2. My promise to all my students is I will put in all of your corrections as part of the next unit entry. So when I put in all the Unit 2, I'll make all fixes to Unit 1. And I try to make the fixes earlier, but I promise to do them when I do the next unit. Yes?
There on the Unit 1 exam, since the
6 was thrown out.
yeah 6 was thrown out. 1, I have the exact same grade as I did if 6 was not thrown out,
Okay.
and I got 6 wrong, which doesn't make any sense.
Because you got it wrong, throwing it out doesn't change your grade.
Okay. And also when
You still had the same number of right ones.
okay, and when the extra credit is put on, is that added to the exam or the whole test grade section?
It's added to the exam category, so it's
Okay.
like a separate test
Okay.
where you get a 2 out of 0 or a 4 out of 0.
Okay.
So they're just points getting thrown into your exam pool. Remember, that exam pool average is half your grade.
Okay.
Got it? Yes?
So the 1.2 was for the warm-up, so everybody probably has a D on that.
Yeah, so I think most people will have an 80% or something because it automatically rounds to a 1 out of 1.2. And I just noticed this late last night. I sent off an email. I got a response this morning. That's as far as we've gotten. Yes?
Another question. Why didn't you just make it out of 12? There are 12 warm-ups.
Oh, just because later on in the year, I didn't want a lab to be worth the same as a warm-up. A warm-up is just a couple seconds of paperwork to get you thinking about one topic.
Mm-hmm.
If I make the warm-ups out of 12, which would be one solution, then each lab has to be worth 10 points. And that might work. I mean, I can adjust the entire category up by 1 decimal. And that would solve the problem, but I'd have to remember to do that for all the rest of the classwork as well. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Yes.
Did the curve change after you took out?
I don't know what it was before, but in period 3, the curve is now 29. It was 28 before?
Yeah, so.
I don't understand why it would go up.
It was 29 before, so
It's
yeah, it's
28.
29. Oh yeah.
How many of you thought it was 29 before?
It is still 29.
How many of you thought it was 28 before?
No, it's for sure 29.
No.
Yeah, no, because 1 point.
Because you thought the highest was 29, but it wasn't.
Oh, there was a grade that I had miscalculated. Is that right?
Mm.
So having added that grade, that was one of the ones, so that's why your curve has changed, sorry.
But wasn't there still only 130 and 129, so it wasn't 20?
No, there was actually 130 and 329s. So it's definitely 29, and I know that that makes everybody's grade a little worse. I'm sorry.
So
So
when
for exams, if you got the wrong grade put into the EDU 2.0 and then it can't be checked, do I talk to you?
Just write a note
Okay.
that says, please check actual paper.
Okay.
When I saw the paper, I had a blah, blah, blah plus blah, blah, blah equals blah, 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 and the grade book has the wrong thing. So you just write a really clear note, put it in the grade correction box. Any other questions? Please raise your hand if you need more time with grades or sign up of species.
Sign up is still right there.
Yeah.
Sign up is halfway through.
Yeah.
EDU has been checked and everybody's done with the EDU thing.
Did you ever go over the warm-up yesterday?
I did not, and we won't go over it until tomorrow, I think. I'd like everyone's attention for just a moment, please. When you use the cell phones for school, I'm really psyched that you have this ability to be on the internet, but you have to admit it's kind of hard to multitask sometimes, so just give me a break for a second, please. During the movie, I'd like to finish the movie today. It's only about 20 minutes left in the film. So if somebody remembers where we left off, I'd like to cue up the movie, and then you'll have like a 20 or 30-minute block at the end of the period where you can keep looking for invasive species and signing up. So try not, you don't have to rush. It's not like extreme urgency to sign up right now. It's going to go in the same order either way. So you've got the same number of people ahead of you either way. I would say get 1 or 2 invasives lined up for the paper and then focus on the film.
Can we go over yesterday's warm-up?
And we will go over yesterday's warm-up as part of lecture tomorrow. Any more brain busters for me before I launch the movie? Yes?
For 3.
Dane, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
3.3, do you want to use the book or the reading?
I don't remember. What was 3.3?
It's the, all the biomes.
Book. Yes?
Is it invasive species of the U.S. only?
In your period, it's U.S.-wide species. So species that appear over most of the states, not just California. We have a lot of invasives in just California that by coincidence don't go to any other state. That's actually a separate period. That's period 2, I think. So yours is for U.S.-wide, like nationwide.
but it can be invasive in California.
Yeah, a lot of stuff like the black rat, it's over all states. Sorry, I probably just gave away your species.
I wrote it down
You already
already.
wrote it down. So the black rat has invaded all the states, including Cali, but because it's nationwide, that's fine. Yes?
What about one that's like ranges from specific coastal places like fish, but it's also in like Japan?
To me, that's not quite nationwide.
So it'd have to be a fish that occurs in like the Gulf and something.
Asian, but then migrated to California, but then it's also in the Atlantic.
It's less than ideal. If you can find something that's more national in distribution, that's better. I'm not going to like reject your species, but I'd like the periods to have a focus, and I'd rather it be nationwide, not just a couple of states. Okay, anybody know what we really thought of the movie yesterday?
I think it was right after that weirdo was talking about he likes the sounds they make while they make.
Ah, yes, the guy that looks up a little bit.
3 minutes after that.
It honestly does look
Okay.
like the director is pointing a shotgun at him, telling him to say this thing, and he's like,
Yeah, he looks kind of like...
I love the sound they make.
Hey, everybody, I've been asked one question about the movie. No, you don't have to take notes. I can't force you to take notes, but I would strongly recommend that you can answer these 2 questions. So if you have a piece of paper out, it's just going to take a second. You might as well try it. There are 2 questions you should try to answer in the movie. How have they what's the story of their invasion, and how have they been so successful in their invasion? Yeah.